This mission requires our full attention. We've no time to waste. Understood?
Yes, ma'am. Apologies, ma'am.
Carry on.
The group travels Mihen Highroad. The scholar Machen is pleased to meet the summoner Yuna. He reminds her how people count her to defeat sin. A child asks Yuna if she'll bring the calm. Her mother says they are looking forward to it. The calm is a time without sin after its defeat, before sin is reborn again. The Crusaders are preparing an operation together with the Bhed. An acolyte of Yevon, Shelinda, preaches to the Crusaders about Yevon's teachings. The operation will be using Machina salvaged by the Bhed. The group stops at an Bhed-owned travel agency. Tidus and Yuna talk. Tidus wonders why sin always comes back, and tells Yuna they'll defeat it again if it does come back. He wonders what's so bad about using Machina, which is something Yuna has never thought of. He asks how they are to defeat sin. The pilgrimage ends in Zanarkand, a city dead 1,000 years, where Yuna will obtain the final summoning. With it, she can defeat sin. Tidus confirms he'll go to Zanarkand with Yuna and see for himself if his home city is really in ruins. Hearing rumors of a chocobo-eating fiend, Tidus wants to go get him, because it's the right thing to do. Auron remarks how Jecht used to say the same. The Crusaders have blocked the road and will not let anyone pass. Maester Seymour appears to use his influence to let Yuna and her group through.
I thought it was weird. Yuna's dad defeated Sin 10 years ago, right? But Sin's still here. Didn't make much sense till now. Wait, if it just comes back...
Don't say it isn't worth it. Because it is.
Joining the pilgrimage, Tidus fully enters the hero archetype of the wanderer. He literally wanders on Spira, traveling from temple to temple. He's on a journey with Yuna. A wanderer in the matters of the heart gives their relationship a chance to develop. Tidus is learning about Spira. He's learning about himself and his father. He's asking thematic questions.
Yuna, why does Sin always come back?
Sin is our punishment for our vanity. And it will not go away until we've atoned.
How do we do that?
Sin always comes back after its defeat. Death incarnate can only be calmed, not truly defeated. Tidus asks a thematic question of Yuna. Why does sin always come back? Yuna can only answer with Yevon's mouth and talk about sin being a punishment for their vanity. It will not go away until they have atoned. Death rules over life on Spira. Even if it can be calmed, it will return to power. During the calm, people can sleep in their beds without fear. Yuna thinks this kind of time is worth anything. That's why she is a summoner on a pilgrimage to defeat sin.
What did we do that was so bad in the first place? Ah, was it using lots of Machina or something? Oh, wait, was that such a bad thing, really?
It's funny. Ever since I was young, I never questioned it. But now that you ask me if it is that bad or not, I don't know.
The Crusaders and the Bhed are preparing to use Machina to battle sin in their upcoming operation. For this, the Crusaders have been excommunicated from Yevon. The Bhed have salvaged ancient Machina weaponry that they claim is as powerful as the mighty Aeons. The power of technology is being compared to the power of faith.
I heard they were to use forbidden Machina. I had to stop them.
Huh? Why?
The use of Machina is strictly forbidden by the Yevon priesthood.
That's bad, yeah?
Let them use whatever they want. They still won't defeat sin.
But It's not about defeating sin. The teachings of Yevon must be upheld.
Yeah, right.
Shelinda comes to the Crusaders with a thematic argument. It's not about defeating sin. The teachings of Yevon must be upheld. The ends do not justify the means, and sin is the punishment for using Machina in the first place. When Tidus gets to talk to Yuna alone, he asks a thematic question. Was using Machina such a bad thing? That is something Yuna has never thought to question before. Tidus comes from a world where people used Machina and he cannot see any moral problems with it.
Do you know what those ruins are from?
Some old city?
Correct. A city most ancient. A terrible testament to sin's power. I tremble every time I see them. Compared to sin, humans are mere mud puppies.
But I believe humans are the only ones capable of defeating sin.
A good reply. I am relieved to hear you say that, milady Summoner.
The two grand symbols of this story are the pilgrimage and sin. The pilgrimage is the journey, a process for growth. It symbolizes hope for the people of Spira, a possible change in the cycle of death. Sin is death incarnate. It symbolizes sorrow for the people. It's the source and the center of the endless cycle that is Spira's status quo, the current normalized state of things. These two grand symbols are strongly connected, one helping to define the other. The goal of the pilgrimage is to defeat sin. Sin is born again, which creates the cause for another pilgrimage. The cycle is endless. It's become tradition. Spira is in an eternal spiral of death. With most of the symbols in the story introduced and already being repeated, the symbols are starting to form a web where they help define each other. The pilgrimage is the journey. This grand symbol in the story stands for inner and outer growth. The summoner journey to defeat sin. The guardian guards the summoner. They visit temples of Yevon to pray to the faith and receive the Aeon. The final destination is Xanagand. If the summoner grows strong enough on the journey, they will defeat sin and bring the calm. Sin is death incarnate. Defeating it is the story goal. This grand symbol in the story is the thematic argument that death rules over life, and the object for the great physical ordeal at the end of the journey. Sin is the dragon the hero must slay, and this dragon is also the hero's father, the source of his wound. Sin is the punishment for man's vanity. It is the cause for atonement. Sin kills people and summoners send them to the afterlife. Through faith is sin calmed but never truly defeated. The summoners go on a pilgrimage that ends in Xanagand, the dead city. And after being defeated, sin comes back to continue the cycle. Thematic arguments and questions regarding life and death, faith and technology connect with the symbols on the web. The moral argument of the story is also in this symbol web. The connection between the pilgrimage and sin reveals a declining morality in the story. Death rules over life in more ways than one. The pilgrimage and the traditions connected to it are all parts of the cycle of death. Faith or technology can never break the cycle alone. Yevon enables the pilgrimage with their temples and faith. The Bhed also aim to defeat sin, not with faith, but technology. Defeating sin is the end goal of the pilgrimage. Death rules over life, but the summoners aim to overthrow death's rule, hoping that one day sin will not come back. The pilgrimage is a tradition, part of the cycle of death. It brings hope to the people. The summoners who journey follow the example of those who journeyed before them, and, thus, repeat the mistakes of previous generations. But the pilgrimage in this story is different from all the others. Tidus, the catalyst hero, is Yuna's guardian. He asks thematic questions no one else would think to ask. The moral argument of Final Fantasy X is: those with the courage to look beyond traditions can find hope where no one else thought it existed. At this point of the story, the two heroes are nowhere near learning this lesson, but they are starting to ask the correct thematic questions that will eventually lead them there. Now the heroes are being led by a false moral argument connected to the pilgrimage and Yevon's teachings. The Summoner's pilgrimage is a tradition. They follow in the footsteps of their fathers, ready to repeat their mistakes. At the end of the road in Zanarkand await the final summoning and the battle with Sin. Yuna aims to bring the calm and continue the cycle, continue the tradition. Auron, the mentor in possession of esoteric knowledge, knows all this already, but keeps it to himself as he also knows that the heroes must learn the lesson themselves or the cycle cannot be broken.
But Yuna, how are you supposed to beat something big like that?
The final summoning. It's the only way to defeat Sin. The only way. With it, we can call the final Aeon. That's the goal of the pilgrimage. The faith of the final summoning lies waiting in the far north to greet summoners that complete their pilgrimage. At the world's edge in Zanarkand.
Sin cannot truly be defeated. It can only be calmed. But Yuna and the other summoners who journey hope that one day it will not return after being defeated. The story goal is redefined. To stop Sin, to defeat it, Yuna needs to obtain the final summoning at the end of the journey in Zanarkand.
You will go with us to Zanarkand?
Yeah, I'll go. I'll go to Zanarkand to see it with my own eyes.
With the end of Act 1, the hero Tidus fully enters the special world. Sin is checked, his father. The pilgrimage is to defeat Sin. Tidus and Yuna get to spend time together and get to know each other better. Now the Catalyst hero is starting to be subjected to thematic arguments and he gets to question them. Why does Sin come back? Will death rule over life forever? What was so bad about Machina? Should technology really be forbidden?
Fire!
Operation Mayhem is a Crusader-Bhed joint mission. They aim to make Sin appear by luring it with Sinspawn and defeat it with Machina weapons. Come to witness the operation, Maester Seymour motivates the troops. Wakka confronts Seymour about the Maester of Yevon being present at the operation and condoning the use of Machina weapons. Seymour is indifferent about Machina. Yuna and her guardians are invited to the command center to witness the operation. The Bhed prepare their cannons. The Crusaders organize their troops. Wakka curses the Machina weapons. When his brother Jabu left Bhed to fight Sin, he left behind the sword Wakka gave him to fight with the Machina weapon instead. Kinok, another Maester of Yevon, is present at the command center. He undermines the whole operation. The operation begins. A captured Sinspawn escapes its cage. Yuna and her guardians must defend themselves. Later, Seymour fights by Yuna's side. Sin emerges from the sea. Bhed cannons barrage it while the Crusader vanguard hold off its spawn on the beach. Sin annihilates the fighting force in one attack. The Bhed Machina weapon claimed to be as strong as the mighty Aeons falls. The battle is soon over. Sin turns to leave. Heavy shelling and other attacks have left it unharmed. Seeing her chance, Yuna prepares to summon and fight Sin there and then, but Seymour stops her.
Your powers are still too weak.
Tidus swims after Sin, after his father, checked. Sin escapes him. The beach is littered with Crusader and Bhed corpses. Yuna performs the sending. Auron reminds Tidus that Sin is checked. Sin will keep killing until it's stopped. According to him, checked wants Tidus to stop Sin. Seymour approaches Yuna again. He reminds her of the hopes people place on her and her duty to the pilgrimage. He offers her support with a romantic undertone. As the group leaves the beach, Kimahri talks to Tidus for the first time.
Curses! Ow! Ugh.
He really hates them, huh?
The source of Wakka's deep hatred for Machina is revealed to be the fate of his brother. When Chappu left Besaid, he left behind the sword Wakka gave him to fight with the Machina weapon instead. Now Tidus carries that sword. The power of Machina weapons are demonstrated in the operation. The Bhed claim they rival the Aeons. They prove to be powerful, but not enough to take down Sin. Not enough to even harm Death Incarnate.
Isn't this operation against the teachings of Yevon? Aren't you gonna stop them?
It's true. I should. However, both the Crusaders and the Bhed truly wish peace for Spira. As a denizen of Spira, I wish them well in their endeavor.
But using Machina, that's bad, isn't it?
Pretend you didn't see them.
Beg your pardon, but that's not something a maester should say.
Then pretend I didn't say it.
You're kidding.
On Mihen Highroad, the acolyte Shelinda preached that using Machina is against Yevon's teachings. Now, when confronted about the matter, a maester of Yevon, Seymour, shows complete indifference about the matter. Another maester, Kinok, belittles the whole operation. Yuna understands the goal of the operation to be the same as her pilgrimages. In this operation, the Crusaders and the Bhed are presenting a thematic question. Can technology achieve the same as faith? Can it defeat sin? Mr. Kinok makes a thematic argument. This won't work. And the result is undisputable. Technology is unable to defeat sin.
This plan won't work, you know that. We'll just let them dream a little longer.
For taking part in the operation, the Crusaders are excommunicated from Yevon. They must defeat sin there on that beach, or they will have no place left in society. Still, high representatives of Yevon are present at the operation. Seymour condones it not only with his presence, but with words of encouragement. Once the operation is over, Auron makes a note of this darker side of Yevon.
Satisfied? What do you mean?
Those who turned from Yevon died, while the faithful live on.
In dark times, she must be. She must shine bright.
Huh?
Now are dark times. Yuna tries hard.
We should help her then.
If we worry, she tries harder. Do not frown.
Machina is proven ineffective against sin. Only a summoner can defeat sin, but Yuna is not ready yet. Seymour reminds Yuna about the hopes people place on her. Kimahri notes to Tidus how Yuna must be cheerful because of the example she sets.
What's going on? Why is Maester Seymour back in the Crusaders, eh? They're using Bhed's Machina. They're violating the teachings.
Even going against the teachings, they're willing to risk it for the greater good. Waka, I think Maester Seymour sees that too.
Operation Mayhem is a battle between Sin, Death Incarnate, and the Crusaders and the Bhed, forces of the living. At the end of the short battle, the desolate beach is full of corpses. Sin remains unharmed. Death rules over life.
You do not look so well. But now, more than ever, you must be the people's strength, their confidence. Anyone else would be expected to show their sorrow. But you are a summoner. You are Spira's hope. Until sin is defeated, you must not relent. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Are you afraid?
Maester Seymour Guado is an archetypal shapeshifter. Inside the shell, he is the shadow, the hero's opposite. At Operation Mayhem, he puts on the mask of a mentor for Yuna. Already the hero has recognized Seymour's strength as a summoner. In this way, Seymour presents himself as a mentor, as an evolved hero. Seymour acts cordially to Yuna and her guardians, and volunteers advice to her. He stays by her side during the battle, keeping her safe from Sin-spawn and preventing her from recklessly assaulting Sin. After the battle, Seymour approaches Yuna again. He shows the kind of confidence in her that only Tidus has shown before. Seymour presents to Yuna the false moral argument upheld by Yevon. This false moral argument is tied to hope, and at its center is the summoner's pilgrimage. People find hope in the pilgrimage and the summoners who journey. When a summoner defeats sin, they bring the calm. Then people can sleep in their beds without fear for a short time at least. But the pilgrimage is a part of the cycle that upholds the status quo on Spira. Nothing changes, while people try to atone for their past mistakes and hope that one day sin will not come back after its defeat. Events at Operation Mayhem are a strong thematic sign for Yuna. The experience strengthens her resolve. Technology cannot accomplish what faith can. She must complete her pilgrimage. Death rules over life. She is the people's hope.
Yuna, take me as your pillar of strength, as Yuna Leska had her Lord Zeon.
When Seymour offers Yuna his assistance, he refers to a summoner who defeated Sin with the aid of her husband, alluding to him possibly having romantic interests in Yuna. This sets up a conflict in the romantic subplot. Seymour will come between Tidus and Yuna.
How many died today? People die and Yuna dances. When will she stop dancing? When will it stop? Yuna won't stop dancing, not until sin is gone.
Operation Mayhem is a pinch point in the story. It's a reminder of what is at stake. Sin will keep killing if not stopped. Here is a rise in tension. Sin is fought for the first time. It remains unharmed while completely crippling the opposing force. Auron reminds Tidus of Sin and Checked. Sin must be stopped. Checked wants to be stopped.
So he killed all those people just for a chance to see me?
That's what Sin does. He wanted to show that to you. Do you know why?
How am I supposed to know?
So you would kill him. As long as he is Sin, Jecht will keep killing. He wants you to stop him.
The romantic subplot also starts to get more complicated when Seymour shows a sign of romantic interest in Yuna.
You owe much to your father. All these guardians. And Sir Orin too? And I hear Maester Seymour's quite taken with you. The world must look different when you're the daughter of Lord Braska.
This has nothing to do with my father. I'm traveling on my own, as a full-fledged summoner.
Oh, is that so? Then try standing on your own two legs for once. Your guardians won't be able to protect you when the time comes.
The group arrives at Djose Temple, another stop on the pilgrimage where Yuna must pray to the faith. Summoner Isaru is leaving the temple. He encourages Yuna, saying she might have what it takes to beat Sin. He proposes a friendly competition to see who can defeat Sin first. Yuna accepts. Isaru's guardian tells Tidus about rumors of summoners disappearing. Yuna enters the Cloister of Trials with her guardians. She prays in the Chamber of the Faith. Donna shows up with her guardian. She makes a comment about Maester Seymour being quite taken with Yuna. Survivors from Operation Mayhem take refuge in the temple. Yuna spends the night healing the wounded and sending the fallen. She sleeps in the next morning and makes everyone wait for her, for which she gets teased. Tidus laughs with the others while the storyteller narrator makes a remark about him being the only one who really is laughing.
Oh, you too, Sir Orin?
Once Lady Yuna fixes her hair, we leave.
I hadn't really laughed like that in a long time. It was only later that I realized. The only one really laughing then was me. Laughing must have been the only thing keeping them going.
Moroda's heard a curious rumor. I thought you should know.
I heard it from those crusaders. Seems that summoners have been going out on pilgrimage and just disappearing.
It could just be the fiends got them, but not so many so quickly.
Sorry I don't know more, but watch your back.
Isaru's guardian brings rumors from the Crusaders. Summoners are disappearing on their pilgrimages. Yuna was already kidnapped by the Bhed in Luca. Back then, her guardians thought it was only connected with Blitzball. If guardians do their jobs, they will be not left without the summoner to guard.
My apologies. I am Isaru. I am a summoner, like you. Since I was a child, I've always looked up to Lord Braska. I wished I would someday become a high summoner like he was. You must have some of your father's talent in you. I believe you might someday defeat Sin.
I'm not really. I've only just become a summoner.
Of course, I've no intention of losing either. So perhaps we should race to see who can defeat Sin first, no?
Very well then. I accept your challenge.
Isaru proposes a race to defeat Sin. Multiple summoners journey at a time, but only one can defeat Sin. On the surface, this is a friendly competition between summoners, but no one actually really wants to battle Sin if there are options. Foreshadowed is the grim truth that the winner of this competition gives their life to bring the calm, which the losers get to enjoy. Making it a friendly competition makes sure everyone keeps journeying instead of delaying and hoping someone else gets to Xanakant before them.
They say that clouds of fireflies gather here when night falls.
The entire river glows like a sea of stars.
Really? Hey, I got an idea!
We're not waiting till nightfall.
Then, once we beat Sin, we're coming back.
The group encounters the same two Ronso who were picking on Kimahri in Luca. They repeat the rumor of summoners disappearing. Kimahri gets picked on again for having a broken horn.
Hornless! Hornless!
The Moonflow River has beautiful scenery. Tidus suggests they come back after they defeat Sin. The suggestion is received with nothing but silence. The river is crossed on shoe puffs, large creatures resembling elephants. As the group crosses the river, Wakka points out the city built above the river, now sunk to the bottom. To Wakka, it's a demonstration of the bad influence of Machina. Tidus questions the use of Machina on Spira, using the Blitzball Stadium as an example. The shoe puff hits something in the water. Suddenly, an Bhed grabs Yuna and pulls her under. Wakka and Tidus jump in and rescue her. Tidus finds beat-up Rikku on the opposite bank. She was behind Yuna's kidnapping. Still grateful for the help he got from the Bhed, Tidus does not tell the group about Rikku's involvement in the kidnapping. Rikku offers to become Yuna's guardian. She joins the pilgrimage. Wakka does not notice she's an Bhed.
What could that be?
Sit down.
Sorry! Ah!
The Bhed!
Yuna gets kidnapped a second time. Her guardians manage to rescue her again. The Bhed are behind the summoners' kidnappings. Rikku admits as much, but does not elaborate why.
Are you certain?
100%. So, anyway, can I?
If Yuna wishes it.
Yes, I do.
Riku's a good girl. She helped me a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm for it. The more the merrier.
Righto! Then I'll just have to be the merriest.
Riku's role in the story is a fake opponent ally. She wants Yuna to stop her pilgrimage, but for reasons that Tidus does not know yet. She'll become an important ally to Tidus, the Catalyst hero. A Catalyst character herself, Rikku helps Tidus and Yuna form thematic synthesis and helps them learn the theme of the story. Rikku is the daughter of Sid, the leader to the Bhed, and Yuna's cousin. The Bhed want summoners' pilgrimages to stop, and the blood relation makes Rikku care about Yuna so much that she joins the pilgrimage.
Yevon has taught us. When humans have power, they seek to use it. If you don't stop them, they go too far, yeah?
Yeah, but don't you use Machina too? Like the stadium and stuff, right?
Yevon, it decides which Machina we may use and which we may not.
So what kind of Machina may we not use then?
Remember Operation Mihen? That kind.
The sunken city in the bottom of Moonflow is a thematic argument for the corruptive nature of technology. As Wakka says, when men have power, they seek to use that power. The Blitzball Stadium in Luca used Machina to create the sphere of water where the sport is played. Tidus makes a thematic question about which Machina may be used. Yevon dictates which Machina men may use. Machina weapons are forbidden.
Lady Yunalesca!
She was the first person to defeat sin and save the world from its ravages. And you have inherited her name.
It was my father who named me.
Lord Braska was entrusting you with a great task. He wanted you to face sin as Lady Yunalesca did. However, Lady Yunalesca did not save the world alone. To defeat the undefeatable sin, it took an unbreakable bond of love, of the kind that binds two hearts for eternity.
The group arrives in Guadosalam, the home of the Guado. Trommel, a personal assistant to Seymour, brings summons for Yuna to meet with the Maester. The group meets with Seymour in his home. Seymour shows them sphere recordings made of fireflies. One shows Sanagand from 1,000 years ago, and the other is of Lady Yunalesca, the first High Summoner to defeat Sin. Yuna is the namesake of Yunalesca. Seymour reminds that Yunalesca did not save the world alone. She had Lord Zeon, her husband. Then Seymour asks Yuna to marry him. Shocked, Yuna is unable to say anything. Auron speaks for Yuna, reminding Seymour that Spira is no playhouse. Seymour gives Yuna time to think about the proposal.
Wow, your face is beet red.
You okay?
He asked me to marry him.
You serious? Hey!
You know what Yuna must do.
Of course.
Seymour steps into the romantic subplot with his marriage proposal. The relationship between Tidus and Yuna has been developing slowly with time. Now the antagonist comes between them, bringing into the love triangle his rank and the false moral argument that Yevon cultivates. Tidus has no response to this sudden turn. Yuna needs time to think, but she does think about it.
Lady Yuna, no, all summoners are charged with bringing peace to Spira. But this means more than just defeating Sin. She must ease the suffering of all Spira. She must be a leader for the people. I proposed to Lady Yuna as a maester of Yevon.
Spira is no playhouse. A moment's diversion may amuse an audience, but it changes nothing.
Even so, the actors must play their parts.
Death rules over life, but life can flourish even on Spira. Marriage usually leads to procreation, to life.
Yuna, the High Summoner's daughter, Seymour, the leader of the Guado, married in the name of Yevon, overcoming the barriers of race. It would give Spira something cheery to talk about for a change.
Sounds just like a passing daydream, like Auron says.
Everyone has their opinion on the proposal. Seymour says he proposed as a maester of Yevon. He thinks Yuna must be a leader and ease the people's suffering. Auron knows something like a maester marrying a summoner is only a diversion for the people. Like a blitzball game, it would give something to talk about for a moment, but it would change nothing. Yuna and Lulu seriously consider the proposal and the idea of the hope it would bring. Hope is a key word in the false moral argument that guides Yevon. The people live on hope. Yevon must supply the people with hope. Summoners who journey give people hope, and hope can be found elsewhere too.
I remember when I was only 7 years old in Bhed that day. My father had defeated Sin, and the whole town was out in the streets. Everyone was laughing. They all seemed so happy. If I defeated Sin, that would make everyone happy, wouldn't it? I must do what everyone wants, not just what I want.
Let's go back. You gotta tell Seymour.
Yuna wants to see her father in the Farplane while she waits Seymour's marriage proposal. The Farplane is a place in God Salam where the souls of the dead gather. There, fireflies can manifest images of the dead when the living think about them. Auron and Rikku stay outside. Wakka sees the image of his dead brother. He can finally accept what happened to Japu. Yuna sees the images of her mother and father. She decides not to marry Seymour. Defeating Sin is more important. Yuna urges Tidus to call upon his father, but Jecht isn't dead, so his image doesn't appear. Instead, Tidus thinks about his mother and her image does appear. He realizes a reason why he hates his father so much is that when Jecht was around, his mother didn't pay much attention to him. As the group is leaving, an apparition walks out the Farplane. It is Lord Djose, Seymour's father and the previous leader of the Guado. Yuna proceeds to send the unsent man. Djose drops a sphere which she picks up without anyone noticing. Yuna goes to give Seymour her answer, but the man has already left for the temple in Macalania, Yuna's next stop on the pilgrimage.
Listen, if Yuna gets married, then if she is to marry, I would want her to marry for love.
See?
But if Yuna said she wanted to marry the one she loves, I would have to object.
Huh? You're not making much sense.
You'll understand one of these days. I just don't want to give it words, not yet. I shouldn't have to say this, but don't fall in love with her.
Yuna decides not to marry. Defeating Sin is more important, but she is unable to give her answer to Seymour yet. Tidus and Yuna talk about their parents. Tidus opens up about his father. When Tidus and Lulu talk about Yuna getting married, Tidus cannot understand Lulu's sentiment about Yuna getting married for love or not for love. Lulu says she is not ready to explain everything to Tidus yet. This foreshadows the approaching midpoint reversal, where Tidus finds out about the sacrifice summoners make at the end of their pilgrimage.
Lord Djose!
Oh, Lord Djose!
He does not belong here.
Why?
Yuna, send him.
Lord Djose.
He is Lord Djose no more. Send him now.
The dead walk among the living on Spira. Foreshadowed is Auron being an unsent. Djose, an unsent man, walks out of the Farplane. This upsets all of Guado's alarm. The summoners sent the dead to the Farplane where they belong. At this point of the story, Auron does not agree that he belongs to the Farplane. He must still look after the living, after the next generation.